welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually going to be a collaboration with my friend Mimi. Her video is going to be her video. That's funny. Say hi, Mimi. Say hi, Mimi. So her video is going to be down in the description box. We're both doing 5 things that we wish we knew before nursing. So if this is the first time you're watching my video, my name is Tanya. I'm a registered nurse now. I'm a new grad. I just passed the NCLEX a couple weeks ago. I don't even think it's been a week. I don't know. But anyway, basically, I'm going to be sharing my knowledge. That's what I do on this channel. Any wisdom that I get along the way, I always share it with my videos. So definitely check out my channel if you haven't already, and subscribe and hit the bell. And also in my previous video, I did a giveaway. So if you're interested in any nursing gear or winning anything free, just go to my previous video and enter the giveaway before it closes. Right now, as of this video being posted, it's still open. So number 1 is nursing is actually really broad. Like, I wish I knew that before I started nursing school, so I wouldn't have you know, certain professors limiting my thoughts about what I could do after nursing school. It was always pushed in nursing school for me that you have to start off at med-surg and you have to get your year of med-surg because that's the basics of everything, and etc., etc. But actually, I know people now who are nurses who have never been at the bedside, and they're totally happy with their career. Like, they knew going into nursing that bedside was not for them, so they've always done things like case management, which brings me to a very frequently asked question, which is what I'm doing for work, because I put on Instagram a little sneak peek of work. So essentially what I do is I go to sites and I coordinate with sites, program leaders for different schools around New York City, and make sure that they're in alignment with the Department of Education and Department of Health's rules. So for example, like, I would have to go to a site and make sure that, you know, they're doing temperature checks and their staff is trained for epi, and if they're not trained for epi administration, then I would have to schedule a day and go and train them all for administering epi, and making sure that all the kids' health records are in the right organization, and that they're up to date, that all the kids have all their vaccines needed and all of their checkups and things like that. So basically, like, you're kind of just a support system for the program leaders of these schools, so that they don't get shut down, and that if in the event that a child does have COVID, they know exactly what to do, how to set up an isolation room, how to, you know, handle that so that the whole school doesn't get COVID and need to shut down. So basically that's the job. It's mostly like office work. So I'm still in training, but essentially that's what the job is. A lot of people have been asking me like how I got a job so quickly. I actually had a friend of mine who I asked for her recruiter's information because I actually wanted something temporary. I didn't want to get a long-term job. And I asked her for her recruiter's name, so she gave me that information, and they just so happened to have been hiring for this position, so I just started right away. So far, it's been actually really, really, really cool. Like, it's a super laid-back job, and you guys know I'm super transparent on this channel, so I'm just gonna flat out tell y'all it's laid back. It's a laid-back job because we're just like a support system. We're not like, you know, nothing is life or death. We're just helping these schools stay safe and helping these kids stay safe and, you know, open. So it's $50 an hour. I think it's no benefits, but actually the agency I think has benefits, but like the job itself doesn't have benefits. But it's $50 an hour. I cannot complain. It's 40 hours a week, day shift, and it's like mostly in the office. Sometimes you have to go and visit sites in other boroughs, but mostly it's in the office, and there's an option to work from home. So I really like it so far. Like, it came at the perfect time. Like, I feel like it was just aligned correctly for me to get this job, and everything is just falling into place. So that's my update, and that's also number 1. nursing is super broad. Do not let anybody tell you that you need to do med surg or you need to be in the hospital. If you know that you don't want to work in the hospital, that is okay. You don't have to work in the hospital. Don't let anybody tell you, oh no, don't do nursing. Like you don't even like blood. You don't even like, the hospital. It's okay. There's a bunch of different kinds of nurses. If you don't want to work at the bedside, if you don't want to work with patients, you can work as a case manager in nursing. You can go into nursing law. You can go into, nursing administration. Like I'm sure you can do so many other things that I can't even think of. But that's what I've been doing now because I wanted something temporary, and yeah, it's been really cool. So let's go to number 2. Number 2 is something that I've already said on this channel, so if you've been watching me, this is a repeat, but it is to make friends. Like I underestimated how important it is in nursing programs to have friends, and when you get into nursing school, if you're watching this and you're not there yet, you will see that having friends and a support system is absolutely necessary for survival. Like you have to have friends. You might forget something and a friend will just text you and be like, oh, did you do, that assignment is due at midnight, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I forgot, thank you so much. Like they will save. I cannot tell you how many times like friends have saved my behind in nursing school. Like whether it is like giving me a heads up on a class, or like prepping me for the class and telling me like any advice before. Like people who have taken the class before would give you advice and say like, oh, to do well in this class you have to do X, Y, and Z, and that will just like really help you. So stuff like that really comes in handy in nursing school. And friends, like they just end up being your friends for a long time, and because only you guys understand what it's like to go through nursing school. Like you might have friends who are like in other
Me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. Stop the cap.
other majors who might go to the same school as you, but only your nursing school friends will understand what it's like to be in nursing school. So I would say definitely make some friends just for like just for the support and like the collaboration, Welcome to Flatbush. I'm sure y'all still hear that music. Y'all should know by now that I'm from Brooklyn, so anytime I'm outside, you should expect it to be loud. Like that's why I have this external mic, so you probably still hear me, but yeah, that's Brooklyn. But yeah, so that's number 2. You definitely need to make friends. Do not be a loner. Do not there's so many times where being friends with someone will save you a whole thing, you know what I mean? Number 3, so what I wish I learned before nursing school is actually that you don't need to study harder, you need to study smarter. Like you need to figure out what is the ways that you can study that is time efficient and still gets you the grade you need to pass. Like before nursing school, I used to think if you read the whole chapter, you should be good. But in nursing school, the chapters are so detailed that reading the chapter for me did not do it. Like for me, doing practice questions and doing concept maps. I have a how to study for farm video where I go over concept maps. Doing things like that was better for me because I got to study only what I really needed to know. Like figuring out what you need to know is key in nursing school, because if you study a topic, you could study, the topic is very broad, so you can study a whole bunch of stuff that is not going to be on the test, and then you would be pissed off because nothing you studied was on the test. So you need to get into the habit of figuring out what is actually needed. Like listen during class and see if you can, even if the teacher doesn't stress it, maybe you can flat out ask what is the most important takeaways from this topic so that I can do well on this exam. You might have to put it out flat like that. Like in farm, for example, you can study side effects from sunup to sundown, and those side effects are not going to help you on the test. But what will help you are the big, serious, life-threatening ones. So you want to know those off the top of your head. You know what I mean? You don't want to study the whole paragraph of side effects. That's not gonna, you don't need to do that. So you're wasting your time, and you're to me, wasting brain space where you could use that space to focus on what is actually important. So number 3 is studying smarter, not harder. It's something that I wish I knew before nursing school. I wish I mastered the art of that before nursing school, but don't let that scare you. You'll definitely master the art of that by the time you by the time you get deep into nursing school. And if you have some friends tying that into number 2, they will help you along the way until you master that art. Okay, number 4, something else I wish I knew about nursing school was how expensive it was going to be. So I went to Long Island University, if you've never watched my videos, and it's been pretty pricey. And I still owe a lot of money. I'm talking 6 figures worth of student loans. And I didn't know it was going to be that expensive. I wish I took scholarships more seriously. Like, I had applied to scholarships, but after you apply to like 30 scholarships and you don't hear back, you kind of get discouraged, you know. But I wish I had kept going and, like, you know, secured scholarships before I even started, so that I wouldn't owe so much in student loans, because student loans really, like, hold you back from a lot of things. Like, it sucks, you know. I think everybody knows that student loans suck, but that's something that I wish I knew more about going into it. And I wish I knew, like, the differences between the loans and things like that. Like, I didn't have anybody guiding me back then to figure out, like, what kind of loan to take out, and, you know, instead of taking out more, like, take out the very minimum and then maybe do a payment plan cash to, like, offset the overall loans, and, like, just how much it actually costs to take out loans. Like, I really had no idea. I just used to, you know, accept whatever loans was given to me, and long term, that's a really bad idea. Like, if you can avoid loans, please avoid loans. Like, do anything in your power, like scholarships, grants, like, look up everything in your state before you just take out loans, because it's, like, the easy thing to do. Lastly, number 5 is it's not a race. I wish I knew before I started that it's actually a pretty long journey. Like, yes, some people just finish in 4 semesters and they're gone, but other people take the long scenic route like me, and that's okay. You'll still finish. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, you know, this whole thing of, well, who's gonna finish first and when are you graduating? Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, we're all on our own journeys, and some people like myself had to do part-time for a couple semesters. LIU doesn't do part-time anymore, by the way, but some people, you know, failed a class, had to leave, come back. That was me. Failed 2 classes, left, came back, had to retake those 2 classes, then continue the program from there. So it took me like a couple years to graduate, but now looking back, like, the timing really doesn't matter. Like, I wish I had been part-time. I wish they would leave the part-time track so that you guys can, you know, take your time with the classes and not have so much pressure, and, you know, work at the same time and do, you know, classes that fit your schedule, so that you can not have to take out all those loans and not have to, you know, quit your job in order to do nursing school. I wish they would have left the part-time track. So my advice is actually look for a school that has a part-time track for nursing school, because the way they set up the nursing programs, to me, is unrealistic. Like, first semester should not have all of those classes. Like, you are just coming out of prereqs. Like, they don't ease you into nursing school. They just kind of drop you into the fire. Like, so that's number 5, something I wish I knew before nursing school. It's just that it's not a race. I wouldn't focus on when you finish, when are you gonna finish? Like, let that go. Like, you're gonna finish when you finish. Like, just focus on the task at hand, which is just passing your classes. Like, I was very time stressed. I was, like, stressing myself out about when am I gonna finish, because a lot of people who I was in the program with when I first started already graduated. By the time I was still, like, trying to get back into the program, everybody I was friends with was already a nurse. So it was just putting pressure on, I was just putting pressure on myself to, like, finish as fast as possible, and that's not necessary. Like, we're all gonna finish when we finish, and it's okay. Like, you'll get to the end of the journey and it'll be a-okay. So So that's my 5 things I wish I knew before nursing school. I hope that was helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out Mimi's channel. Subscribe to hers as well and watch her video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in my next one.
Thanks for watching. I guess bye.